Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of The Spark. I'm Coach David. Hope you're doing fantastic on today. And I hope everything is moving in the right direction in your life, that you are up and at it, getting after it day by day and improving your life. Because after all, you are the architect of your life, which means you get to design, build, and live the life you want. And since you have that power within you to do that, you might as well make it the greatest and the best and put everything into it that you desire. And you have the power to do that. It's all in a decision. When you make that decision, great things start to happen. Well, here we are, Mother's Day 2026. So I don't even want to go any further than this without saying Happy Mother's Day to all mothers everywhere. This is your day. Make it a great day. Happy Mother's Day. Well, today I want to get into a new series, and I want to begin to talk about something that I think is going to challenge you a little bit. It's going to push you a little bit. And I am going to be dealing with mental traps. I'm calling this the mental trap series. In other words, we're going to get into those things that could be hindering your performance, that could be slowing you down, that could be causing you to hesitate, to stop and not reach your fullest. So when we do that, we're going to deal with it from a standpoint of challenging you. And this can be confrontational at times. And I'm okay with that because I understand this right here, that if I don't challenge, if I don't put it out there, many times we just stay the same. I don't want you to stay the same unless you want to stay the same. But really, I know everybody wants to move to a higher realm, a new level. They want to be able to take on bigger challenges and see themselves and work through that. As a mental performance coach, one of the things that I focus on is helping people get to the next level. And so that's why we're going to be talking about these mental traps. And this is going to be a series of lessons, and we're going to deal with several mental traps that could be hindering you and slowing you up. The first one that I want to deal with on today is I'll do it when I feel like it. Boy, this is going to be a good one. This is going to challenge you a little bit. So let's first of all talk about what a mental trap is. A mental trap is nothing more than a pattern of thinking that feels right in the moment. And I want to emphasize that it feels right in the moment, but quietly it's working against everything that you want. It's working against your delivery or your performance. It's working against your discipline. It's working against the decisions that you will make. It's working against your drive, and it's also working against your determination. Now, here's the key factor about that. It's not always so obvious that you're in this mental trap. It's not obvious to you. However, that's the reason why mental traps are dangerous, because you don't even recognize it many times. Now, sometimes people standing on the outside can see that you're in that mental trap. You may not be able to see it from the inside. And even some people, when they challenge you with it, like I do that a lot, I challenge people with the mental traps they're in. People will rebel against that, but that's okay, because my job is to help you be better. People hire me to help them perform better. People hire me to help them perform better in life, in athletics, in education. And so as this is my job to challenge you. And you should be thankful that people want to challenge you, because a lot of times when people are challenging you, it is because they want to see you live your very best life. They want to see you live at that highest level. So if you're in that mental trap, excuse me, it's dangerous. Here's what it is. People will sometimes think that this feels better when we're here. Okay, we're in the mental trap. And so I feel good with myself, but your performance is dropping off. Your delivery is what I call that. Your performance is dropping off. Your discipline is dropping off. The decisions that you make, they're not the most quality decisions. So here's the thing. I'm going to deal with number one on today, the first mental trap. And one of the biggest lies that people tell themselves is this. They say, I'll do it when I feel like it. Yep. But I got news for you. No, you won't. No, you won't. Why? Why do you say that, Coach David? Because if you only act when you feel like it, you've already lost control of your life. That's right. If you're only performing, if you're only behaving, if you're only doing things when you feel like it, you have already lost control of your life. You're allowing your feelings to control what goes on in your life. Let's talk about feelings for a minute, because I think this is key. A feeling is nothing more than a temporary emotional response to a thought, to a situation, or to how you interpret something. So your feelings are nothing but emotional responses. If you operate your life based on your emotions, you are already going in the wrong direction. Why do you say that? Because sometimes you are going to feel like it, and other times you are not going to feel like it. High performers, hear this. High performers don't operate by the way they feel. They understand that they have a system, we talked about that before, a process that they become, and they operate by that. So your feelings, they're real. They really are. They really are. And I don't want to take that away from you, but here's the thing about your feelings. They're unreliable. So that's what I want to start with. Feelings are unreliable. Let me show you what I'm talking about. How many times have you felt like going to work? Okay. Now I know somebody says never, but that's okay. There are times when you feel like you get up in the morning, you get that shower, everything is going good. That cup of coffee is the best cup of coffee you had. And man, you're moving and you're grooving. You look down, you're 5 minutes early. Hey, everything is going well. I'm feeling good. Let's go hit this day. Let's go challenge this day. Let's go do this. But then you walk in the office and then something hits you in the face, or this happens or whatever, and your feelings immediately change. This is what I'm sharing with you. Your feelings are unreliable because what you did, you had this great feeling, but the moment something hit you in the face, now you don't feel that way anymore. But this is what you've got to understand. You have to continue to move forward. There's been many days when I woke up like, yes, I'm feeling really, really good. And then when I get to work, here's this problem and this challenge and this situation. I got to deal with this student and this action and all of this. And I am no longer feeling like being there. But I don't operate by my feelings. I understand that I have a job to do. I decided a long time ago that I am going to get the job done, irregardless of how I feel. Because I understand that my feelings, while they may be real, they are so unreliable and I cannot trust them. If feelings decide what you're going to do, then your consistency is going to die off. What do I mean? Okay, watch this right here. How many times have you not felt like going to the gym? Okay, and if you trust that, if you let your feelings dictate that, you're not going to spend many days in the gym. Because what will begin to happen is that your consistency of going to the gym, irregardless of how you feel, is going to fall off. That's why you got to get beyond your feelings. You've got to understand that your feelings, they are unreliable. Here's what I want you to hear. Feelings are a signal. They are not a command. What do you mean? Your feelings, yeah, they signal certain things. And I'm not trying to get you away from your feelings per se, but I am trying to get you away from responding and acting based on how you feel. Because most people are emotional performers. And what I mean by that, they only do something if they feel like it. And when they don't feel like it, when they got to make that tough phone call, when they got to go out and cold call, they don't feel like it, so they don't do it. And that signal that they're getting from their feelings, that's not a command. That's not a command. That is a signal. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's a great example. Just because I feel nervous, that doesn't mean I'm not ready. I tell people this all the time, especially high performers, and I see a lot of them that don't understand this. Having that nervousness, having that feeling of nervousness means this is important. And that's why you feel that. But watch this right here. You got to trust your practice. You got to trust all those things you've put in. And even when the nervousness is there, that states to me that this is important, but it also states to me, because I have confidence in my training, I have confidence in my process, it's telling me I'm okay. I'm ready for this moment. So that's why I say feelings are nothing more than signals, but not commands. Do not allow your feelings to dictate what you're going to do. It is a mental trap that will keep you hindered and bound. Here's my next point. A lot of times, because of our feelings, we delay, we wait. But oh my goodness, I'm telling you, waiting builds weaknesses. What are you talking about? Because every time you delay and you accept that feeling of delay, what you're doing, you're reinforcing hesitation in your life. You have got to learn to act outside of what you feel. Listen, when you feel like it, that's great. But when you don't feel like it, it's still gotta be great. See, what you're doing every time you allow a feeling to cause you to hesitate, you are training yourself to stall even in the big moments. And that's what you don't want to do. See, this thing about I'll do it when I feel like it later becomes your identity. And remember, I shared with you, whatever you identify with, that's what you are. You cannot allow that to become your identity of later, because you'll be late on this and late on that. You'll show up to work late. You'll turn in assignments late. You'll be late to practice. And the thing that you got to get out of is waiting. You have to do it now. You've got to do it right now, irregardless of how you feel. Sometimes you're going to feel sore. You're going to feel sick. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel unappreciated, but you can operate outside of your feelings. I see it happen all the time. You do it all the time. But what you got to do is stop waiting, because all you're doing is building weakness and building hesitation into your life. And then when the big moment comes, you wonder why you hesitate. You wonder why you stall. That's why, because you have built an identity of I'll do it when I feel like it. I'll do it later. That doesn't work. So, Coach David, I hear you telling me is, how do I work with this in such a way? Well, here you go. Action creates energy, not the other way around. Energy does not create action. You can have all the energy in the world, but if you don't feel like doing something, you're still not going to do it. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to take action irregardless of how I feel. I see it happen all the time. Once you get started, why? Because momentum comes from movement. Watch this. It's a simple law of science that once something starts moving, it's a lot easier to move it. The initial push is where you exert the most energy, right? So if I get started with this, then what I understand is this right here. Starting is the hardest part, but I am not going to allow the start to stop me from starting. That's what a lot of people do. They look at it and they say, oh my goodness, this looks insurmountable. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to wait. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Get started. It's not going to get easier tomorrow. It's not going to get easier next week. And so if I just look at it from this standpoint, so you know what? I'm taking action. Doggone it. I am going to get after it, and I am going to take some action. And I always say this, you get more on your way than when you first start. So once you get into action, the energy comes. Other people come. People that believe in you and want to see you succeed, they jump on board. But you have got to get started. Discipline begins before motivation. It's a matter of the decision. When you make the decision and then you take action, you are now well on your way. Do not allow when I feel like it to hinder the action. Do it when you don't feel like it. Take the action when you don't feel like it. I always say this right here. It's the times when you don't feel like it, that's when you got to move. That's when you got to get going. That's when you got to get started. Because if you will do that, what you're going to see, as I say, you get more on your way. If you begin to, like a big rock, you'll rock it. That's your action. You're getting started. And the more you rock it, the more momentum you get. And the next thing you know, it'll roll. And then you just keep rolling. And before you know, that momentum, that movement has brought momentum, has brought energy, has brought all of those things coming together to get the job done. So I got to say, look, this is the key to it. You can't wait till you feel like it. High performers don't do that. You're a high performer. High performers act even when they don't feel like it. See, you're not stuck because you're lazy. I'm just going to tell you that's not the case. You're stuck because you keep waiting to feel ready. And I got to let you know that moment of feeling ready, especially in big time things, rarely, if ever, comes. That's why you got to get going. If your actions are dependent upon your feeling, I got to tell you, your results are going to be all over the place. They're going to be inconsistent. That's why high performers don't ignore their feelings. This is what they do. They just obey. They just don't obey their feelings. They act over their feelings. And I want you to do the exact same thing. So I've covered very quickly with you. Mental trap number one is I'll do it when I feel like it. But that's not going to hinder you any longer because you know your feelings are unreliable. You know that waiting is doing nothing but building weakness into your life. But you understand this, and you're going to take this and run with it. Action creates the energy. I just got to get started. And all you got to do is get started. And you can get started very simply. You can pick up a book and start reading about it. Total immersion into it and get started. So I hope this has helped you on today. If it has, would you do me a big favor and would you share this with someone? Put this on your social media post and share it with somebody so we can help people be bigger, we can help people be better, and we can help people climb to the very top. Because after all, that is what it's all about. So I'm gonna get out of here on for today. Listen, remember this right here. You are the architect of your life. I'm Coach David. Hey, mental performance is where it's at, and I believe in you. I will see you on next time. You have a great week, all week long. Goodbye.